Hey everybody, how's it going? Long time no see, I know. I'm Jeremy from Tie Dye Tanks. I have been out for a while, doing some other projects that I've been wanting to do, like I had a bulk order. I've been making a bunch of masks, and then I've had to paint the house that I'm in right now because we're going to be moving soon. So I haven't been doing a lot of tie-dye stuff other than working on other orders for other people and all that. But I am here now today to drop two videos on you today. This is going to be the first of the videos that I drop. The other one's going to be a tutorial. This video is going to be a frequently asked questions video. I've done one of these already, and I just want to do another one because there's a lot of questions in the tie-dye world that need to be answered for you amateurs, and even some long-time dyers even need questions to be answered sometimes. So the second video will be how to tie and dye a DNA design, and I will be shooting that one and dropping it right after I put this one out. So let's get right to it. Our first frequently asked question of the day is, are there any other methods of tie-dye? As in, is there any other way you can do it by just scrunching up a shirt or tying up a shirt and using a bottle to dye it? And the answer to that is definitely yes. There are a lot of different ways that you can dye a shirt. Now you're always going to want to tie it, of course. That's going to be the one step that's going to remain constant in every one of these methods, is that you're going to tie the shirt up first, obviously. But the ways that you can dye the shirt are the first one that is very popular right now and has been popular for the last few years is ice dye. Ice dye is where you tie the shirt up, then you put the dye on the shirt and then ice on top of the dye, and the ice melts the dye into the shirt, thus creating sort of like a crystallized looking effect. Um, Ice dye is, I wouldn't say easier, but it's more random than if you're liquid dyeing. So sometimes you get some effects that you didn't think you would get. Sometimes you get things that just surprise you. So I like ice dye just for the effect that it has with the crystallization looking effect that I told you about. Um, and then along that same lines, there's also snow dyeing, and that can only be done at certain times of the year, of course, but it's pretty much the same thing as ice dyeing. You just use snow. Now, snow will make a little bit more of a subtle crystallization effect. It won't be as pronounced with the snow because of it takes a lot of snow to make as much water as it does ice, just because of the way it is, obviously. So, and then along those lines, a little bit more kind of is rain dyeing, and rain dyeing is exactly what it is. It's you do the same process as ice dyeing, except for you put it out in the rain and let the rain do the work. And I haven't seen a ton of rain dyes because sometimes they don't turn out very well, but if they do turn out good, they look like an ice dye pretty much. Um, that's all I can really say. I've never done them, so I can't really describe what they look like totally. So, um, and then some other methods of dyeing are stitching. Stitching is one that I did for a lot of years. I've done less of it lately, just because I've been doing another method I'll explain here soon. But the stitching method is where you stitch up your design with a thread and needle, and then you dye it. I usually use brushes after I do that to do the outlines and to add the color to the shirt, but there's other people that use other methods. Stitching is a way that you can make a design that you can normally not make when you tie it. And then the other one that I do, that I'm big on right now, is called hand painting. And hand painting is when you hand paint the design using thickened tie dyes. So I will usually, like sometimes I'll do like an all black silhouette hand painting, or I'll do you know, just a black outline with colors in there. But either way, I'm actually hand painting the design on there, so I can do even things that I couldn't do with the stitching or the tying in hand painting. And then there's a couple other designs that are catching on here lately. HWI, hot water immersion, is what I believe it is. And that is where you take the dye, you put it on like you would with a ice dye, but instead of using ice, you use hot water, and hot water constantly flowing on the piece. And this is actually a method to where you can make a shirt in just a few minutes, and it'll be, well, I think the whole process takes about an hour or so, but it will be ready for you to wear after you wash it out, whereas if you were doing any of these other methods, you would have to wait at least 24 hours for the shirt to batch before you could rinse it out. And that's pretty much all of the dyeing methods that I know as of now. But the second question we have today is about along those lines: is, are there any other ways that I can apply my dye to a shirt in a liquid dyeing method? And I say yes, there's definitely other ways to do it than a bottle, because although there is several sizes of bottles, you can get them to where they're very small, so you can be more precise and detailed with them, to the bigger 16 and 32 ounce bottles. But there's also other ways that you can apply the dye, and the one way that I use that I think is the best is I use a syringe like this. And this syringe is nothing but a food injector that I got from the store. You cut off the tip with a Dremel Moto tool, and it's a syringe for dye, and I get cups, and I fill the cups up with dye, and then I'll just, you know, I'll get some dye in there, and I'll plunge it up like, and I'll plunge it up like that, and get enough dye in there, and just use it to do precise dyeing. I think it's the most precise way, other than a couple other ones, which those are by using a foam brush. And when you use a foam brush, it's really accurate because you're using your hand, and you can get in there and do shapes that you normally wouldn't do if you had a syringe or a bottle, because of the control. I know a few dyers that use the foam brushes, and their shirts are very crisp looking because of the foam brush, and they know how much they have to apply. And they just, Christine Garrigan is one of them. I don't know if you know Christine Garrigan, but she uses foam brushes, and her technique is awesome. So, and then for hand painting, or even if you want to use them, you can use artist brushes. And I have all kinds of sizes of artist brushes. I use a specific one for black for outlines. I use this one for all my colors, and I use this one if I need to, if I've got a silhouette where there's like a big patch and I don't want to use this little brush, you know, I'll just use this to fill in black there. But I always use those brushes just for hand painting. As for liquid dyeing, there's other methods. I mean, you could literally take brushes and sling dye everywhere and things like that to create shirts. I mean, I always tell people to get creative with it and to try everything that you can in experimenting with tie-dye, because it's fun, and you may find out something that none of us know about, and then you can use that, and you can make your own designs off of it, or make your own techniques. Thank you for watching this video. If you like it, give it a like. If you'd like to see more videos from me in the future, subscribe please. Like I said, I'll be dropping a second video today on how to tie and dye a DNA design. And I will be coming up with a couple more videos this week. Like I said, I apologize for life interfering and me not being here for a while. But I'm going to be bringing you some really good videos. We're actually going to be getting into the Tie-Dye 201 series soon. Some more advanced techniques. I'll tell you how to stitch, and I'll show you how to hand paint even. I'll even show you a little bit of that. Y'all have a great day. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And I'll see you in the next video in just a bit.